What's up, everybody? I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMovieScreenings.com, and I got another movie review for you guys, and that would be The Disaster Artist. Now, this one stars and is directed by James Franco. It's written by the guys that did The Spectacular Now, 500 Days of Summer, and The Fault in Our Stars. It's based on a popular book, based on the terrible movie that was made back in the early 2000s. What could go wrong, right? Oh, and I forgot. It's also being distributed by A24, one of the best in the business. So I was looking forward to this. Obviously, I absolutely love The Room on a very guilty pleasure level. It stars, produces, directs, and is written by Tommy Wiseau, and it's one of the worst movies ever made. Go watch it if you haven't and treat yourself. Then a book was written about it, and it was co-written by Greg Sestero, and he was the guy that played Mark in The Room. And so, you know, the book was there, and then now it's become this cult hit, and it's gained such a following to where it's more popular than Tommy would have ever thought this movie could ever get. So what is this movie about? It's basically about the production of The Room and how Tommy met Mark in an acting class, and they wanted to just kind of break through Hollywood, do their own thing, make their own movie, and they did do that, even if it was a flop on all sense of the word. So what did I think of the movie? I absolutely love it, and it's definitely in my top 10 of the year. So let's get real and break this down. I'm going to start with negatives. There are no negatives. I absolutely love this movie from start to finish. I feel indifferent about it, giving a plus or a minus, but I'm very set on my grade. So positives. Let's start with the direction from James Franco. Now, I've only seen two things he's ever directed. Child of God, which is a smaller film, a few years ago. I didn't really care for it. He also directed that Saturday Night Live documentary, Saturday Night. I actually really enjoyed that, and he directed one episode of 11/22/63, the Stephen King adaptation, which I enjoyed thoroughly. Watching this now, I can tell you that James Franco has a care for this material. He's got a care for Tommy, and he never felt like he was, poking fun at Tommy and just throwing this guy under the bus. Like, he really took this story and these characters and really breathed life into them and make us actually care about them all the way up until the very end, which is very hard to do considering that, this guy is a mystery. There's not really much known about him, but I felt like I knew everything about him when this movie was done. I also think that the comedy and the drama was a great balance throughout the film. Of course, you have James Franco playing Tommy, and he's going to sound ridiculous, and yes, that does, kind of push the comedy a little bit, and the scenarios about making the movie pushes the comedy, but the drama is also rich, and it's there, and it's present and in your face, and it just feels so natural and raw. When Tommy makes The Room, he puts it in the theater, and he plays it in front of a group of people, and they laugh. You can see that this man is crushed. But at the same time, you have Greg there telling him that, hey, not a lot of people do this. You made a movie. Be proud of that. And there's just something just so organic about these two characters just wanting to achieve their dream. Make a movie, be famous. There's just something so likable about it, and that's what James Franco brings from a directing standpoint, adapts it from the script, and then also being Tommy himself. There's just so much heart into this movie about just guys wanting to achieve that dream and just really going after what they want. And I kind of like that. I have a soft spot for that. It's a guilty pleasure theme of mine. I absolutely love that stuff. If you want to go into the acting now, James Franco does play Tommy. And you're probably already thinking to yourself, oh, he's going to be a caricature of, oh, hi, Mark. Like, he's going to be just super ridiculous and over the top. No, actually, he's not. He envelops Tommy so much that he feels like Tommy. I never felt like I was watching James Franco at all. It's one of the best performances I've ever seen him give in his career. It's one of the best performances I've seen this year from a lead male performance. It's so organic. Like I said, you can definitely tell he cares about this man, and he definitely became him. I have a real problem with nepotism, and I typically don't like it when I see it in a movie. But Dave Franco, his brother, plays Greg. He does a great job. It's actually the best thing I've ever seen Dave do. Like, I felt like, this guy was just wanting to become famous, make a movie, and do his thing. And when him and Tommy work together, it works not only for the context of the story, but also because they have that relationship in real life as brothers. It felt like that it was there, the connection, and I really adored that. Everyone else does a fantastic job as well, whether you want to talk about Seth Rogen being a script supervisor or Paul Scheer being a was he the lighting guy or cinematographer? Anyways, he was one of the positions. There's a lot of neat, fun little cameos that pop out through this movie that I didn't even know about, and I was like, that actually fits for the person that they're trying to portray, in real life. And so I thought all over the acting was very solid, but in particular, a heartbreaking performance from James Franco. And you're probably thinking a heartbreaking performance is Tommy Wiseau. Trust me, there's a couple scenes where I actually got a little teary because I felt for the guy, and he's just a normal dude and he was getting crushed by the system. As far as like a visual look, it's not really like anything that like jumps out or whatever. This is more of an acting and writing type of driven movie. It's not really a visual movie, but I will say they captured the scenes of the room pretty accurately. I'm talking down to a T, where they had the bedroom looked appropriate, the living room, like they took so much time and effort to recreate the room and its scenes, production design, art direction, everything. And it looks so authentic. I felt like I was actually watching the documentary behind the scenes making of the room. So visual look in terms of capturing the room and its essence was spot on. I also thought this was a very fast-paced movie. I didn't feel like there was any down spots at all. This was a movie that it was airtight. It knew what it wanted to be. There was nothing wasted, and it just kept going, whether it be from the laughs or from the dramatic tension. Everything was there. It was wonderful. It was sweet. I just loved following these people, and I found myself to be invested in it from the very start. Like I said, it's one of my favorites of the year. I love it to death, and I do think James Franco brings a lot of heart and soul into this character, because, like I said, he's a mystery. We don't know where this guy's from. We don't know how old he is. We don't know where he got all this money from to make this movie, but I like the guy, and he's likable. And like I said, there's something just really infectious about seeing two normal dudes achieve their dream, even if it's one of the worst movies ever made. So I'm indifferent to a plus or minus, but I'm going to give The Disaster Artist a solid A. So I recommend it. Go check it out. And if you have not seen The Room, treat yourself. You're going to love it. Trust me. It's really bad, but it's really funny. So yeah, so let me know what you thought of The Disaster Artist down below. And it might be my favorite A24 movie this year. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with that. So let me know down below what you thought of this movie and what you thought about The Room. Have you read the book? Please let me know all that stuff down below. And I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMovieScreenings.com. And tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.